Chris,
well, listen, Mark, listen, hold on. When I say, would you have caffeine today?
What the hell is that up to that?
How much coffee did you drink before the show?
Listen, you can't polish a sneaker, right? throw tomatoes at me, do whatever you're going to do.
Welcome into Corso and Catone, the real deal New England Field, presented by the Pats Nation. Post-game show, Patriots post-game show, the only post-game show worth watching. Join Mark and I 30 minutes following the Patriots-Jets game, every Patriots game, 30 minutes following. And sitting right over there is Mark Catone, and joining us is Joe Guarnieri, our producer, director. And we got a ton to get to today. We got the heated hotline. Listen, we also want to hear from you on the chat. Joe's got the live chat up going. Chat in. Send us an email, corso.catone@gmail.com. And how about a tweet, Corso and Catone? Listen, Mark, our ever popular, God, it's ridiculously popular heated hotline. They're pouring in 855-313-PATS. Give us a call 24/7. Leave a message. Joe will pick the one to put on the air, and Mark and I will discuss. So 855-313-7287. And Mark, like I said, we got a lot to unwrap today. In addition to the heated hotline, we have Yankees versus Red Sox, our Patriots preview of the Jets game tomorrow. And listen, you do not want to miss Catone's comments today. So listen, are you guys ready to go?
Yeah,
we're ready. I'm waiting for you.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's see what Joe has picked out for us on the heated hotline. Let's see it.
How you guys doing? This is Mike from Providence. I don't understand. Maybe you guys can answer this for me. I don't get it. Maybe it's me. What are you gonna have an AARP card to be a referee in the NFL? Is that like the prerequisite? Like these guys, it's like I'm watching Wilford Brimley run up and down the field. You know what I mean? I don't understand. They're too old. They're too slow. What's the NFL like? Can we get people under like the age of 65 in there to kind of see the plays, maybe make the calls, keep up with the 22-year-olds running up and down the field? I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's me. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you guys can answer that for me. Thanks.
So, Mark, and Mike, thanks for the message. Listen, Mike brings up about, you know what? Now you're going to get Mark going because you want to bring up referees, officials of all people, especially in the NFL. But Mark, does he have a point? I mean, kind of does, doesn't he? I'll let you go first.
He absolutely has a point. These guys are 65, 70 years old. They're fat. They're out of shape. They're trying to keep up with a play. Are you kidding me, Chris? Really? At least if you look at the NBA refs, those guys are in shape. And they got female referees in the NBA. They're in shape, Chris. They're going up and down the court with these guys the entire game. And they do a pretty good job, right? In baseball,
they are in shape.
The umpires aren't in shape, but there's nobody like a home plate umpire trying to deal with all the movement of the balls and the pitches.
Yeah, they're trying to put it in a box.
The NFL, Chris, absolutely, in my opinion, has the worst referees there is.
Even hockey. Those guys are skating around there.
Those guys are in shape.
They're real. They're real good shape. Yeah, listen, I agree. I mean, I agree with all the points on the other sports. God, imagine being a home plate umpire, and they get it right. Like, what, 90% of the time you see that box on TV,
it's right.
It's right around there. And if it's a ball, if they call a bad pitch, it's by like, millimeters. You know what I mean? But yeah, the referees in the NFL, I mean, we've been bitching about them for friggin' years, Mark. I mean, you're right. They're out of shape. They're chasing guys that run a 4.3, 4.2, 40 around the field right now, and they're humping down the field. Tell me how you ever run, Mark? You ever run like sprint full speed? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, about 40 years ago. I did 40 years ago.
Sometimes when you're running full speed, especially in the shape Mock's in. When you run like that, your eyeballs are like popping all around. You can't see you can't pay attention to anything that's going on, let alone what guys that are running like down the sideline. So yeah, I'm not sure how you can make, bang bang calls like that.
Chris, and you know what gets me even more fired up about the damn NFL? Not only do they got refs on the field, they got the refs in the replay booth who can't get it right.
And they still get it wrong.
Can't get it
They still
right.
get it
That's
wrong.
what I'm saying. Chris, last week, they did an ISO. I don't know if you saw it in the middle of the week. One of the guys, I think it was Matt Chatham, did an ISO, and he posted it on social media. Stevenson, on that fumble, the rookie was down. They blew the call. He absolutely was down. He was on the ground when that ball came loose. His back end, his ass was on the ground. He was down. High contact. They blew the goddamn call. How do you blow that call? You got 50 guys. You got all kind of slow-mos in the replay booth, and you blew the call? Yeah. Come on.
You still blow it. And you know
not
what?
Only the refs in the
problem
field
with it is, Joe, these headphones, they suck. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
You gotta.
What did you do? What did you go to the? What did you go to the 50-cent store to buy headphones?
Apple. They're the worst. They don't even fit in my ear.
I gotta listen.
My ear, and they want to give them away for free.
Thank God they're not a sponsor. But again, they keep just popping out of my ear like it's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Chris, imagine they don't even blow. They not only do they stink on the field, they stink in the booth.
Yeah, but you know what the problem? One of the biggest problems is that there's so much writing. NFL more than any other sport. There's so much writing on game to game, and you only got 17 of them. So you blow a game. For example, look what happened in that New Orleans game a couple of years ago with that pass interference call. I mean, the guy tackled him out of the bounds, and they don't call the penalty. That's a playoff situation. There's millions of dollars at stake. These billion dollar industry, and you blow calls that blow games, or you say, well, it's not the officials. No, it is. I mean, they're a part of the game. So when they screw up, it's like screwing up on offense or defense, right? I mean, how the hell, so with that kind of, so Mark, when you got an industry that's that rich, okay, how don't they have full-time guys that have a union? They don't even have a union. Like full-time guys that are doing this all year round, going to seminars, doing whatever the hell they need to do, talking to Mark and I to get better. Mark, how do they not with that? How do they not do that? Is it just they're cheap? I mean, what is it? These guys are bagging groceries in the off season, unless you're like Hockey. So Mike's got a great point. He really does. Mike,
it's not only Chris. He brought up a great point. It's not only Chris the shape there, and I mean he was hopping on the shape, but it's not even that. In addition to the shape, they're the worst getting it right referees of all the sports that I can think of.
You know what pisses me off too? When they're in a 2-minute drill. So you get the team in a 2-minute drill and they got to set the ball. So the official's got to come in and put the ball down himself. And he takes about an hour and a half to do it and run out, right? Oh, nothing drives me like.
So, Chris, I will say this though.
Joe, why did these
Chris, I will say this.
Say it.
I will say this. The Yankees and not their Yankees, the baseball, I believe, those are the most consistent. When you think about a home plate umpire of all the sports, even hockey, baseball, basketball, they're the most consistent and best umpires you can find because that sport it's so hard to be a home plate umpire, Chris. And these guys rotate through to do home plate. So, you might be doing left field or right field, but then a game later you're at home plate. That's the most difficult job, and they're the best at it of any sport, I believe, is the baseball umpires.
Yeah, I agree. And the worst of the NFL. Mark, Joe,
and the worst of the NFL.
Why does it sound like every heated hotline message it just sounds like it's coming in at like 2-3 in the morning, doesn't it?
These guys get fired up and they decide they want to call. Right?
They do it late at night. So listen, that heated hotline was brought to you by Jag Media Productions. Mark, listen, like you say about the MLB umpires, right? That's perfect.
Yeah.
So that leads us right into Yankees Red Sox, right, Joe? Let's see it.
Oh yeah, let's
Yeah.
Yankees, Red Sox.
This Yankees Red Sox is brought to you by Special Sauce Podcast. Startup finance and drive yourself to success. Mark, what's going on with the Yankees?
Well, Chris, listen. They just can't put it together. I mean, now they're moving Gleyber Torres to second base. Now he's trying. It's a little late. Now all of a sudden you're trying to guy. I knew 18 months ago he wasn't a shortstop. Boone's just figuring that out now. Oh, maybe we should move him because he's not a shortstop. For crying out loud, really? Now you move him to second base. He's making errors at second base too. Now I don't know what you do.
Well,
with this
we've
kid.
had it. Boom.
I don't know what you do with this kid. But listen, Chris, you got three teams fighting for the wild card.
And who look, did he really think he was going to be better at second? What's all of a sudden he's going to be Gold Glover now? Did he move to second base? I mean,
yeah, I don't know, Chris.
We've said it 1,000 times. Boone's got to go. He's a terrible manager. Terrible.
Chris, he reacts 2 weeks. Chris, he reacts 2 weeks after everybody else realizes something should happen. He reacts a week or two later and does something that everybody's been talking about for 2 weeks. Then all of a sudden he gets some kind of aberration and he decides, oh, okay, maybe I'll do that. Are you kidding me?
Nah. Mark, we talked about last week. We said, or a couple of weeks ago when all the big guys got COVID, they were down, and they had to play all the backups, and lo and behold, they came firing back, and they upped the standings. They went, and we gave him a little bit of credit, but you know what, Mark? He shouldn't get credit for that. Why should he get credit? He didn't have a choice. What else was he going to do? Put nobody on the field. So he put these guys on the field. He didn't know. It's not like it was a strategic move, because look what happened when they came back. He benched all those guys, put all the big guns in so that he put all the number 4 hitters in, right? And now here we are. And now this Torres situation. So, Mark, I mean, did they make the playoffs? I mean, you got Toronto.
It's between the Yankees, the Red Sox,
coming on, and the Red Sox.
Yeah, it's between the Yankees, the Red Sox,
now,
and Chris.
New York's what? A game out right now?
They're a game out. And if you look at the three teams, Chris, and you look at their remaining schedule, the Yankees probably have the toughest schedule, I think, of the three teams. So the Yankees have to play, Chris, Cleveland, Texas, they're at Boston, they're at Toronto, and then they finish up with Tampa. The Red Sox got to play Baltimore, the Mets, the Yankees, Baltimore again, and Washington. The Red Sox have the easiest stretch. Other than the Yankees, the Red Sox have the easiest stretch of games down the stretch. And Toronto is going to play Minnesota, at Tampa, at Minnesota, the Yankees, Baltimore. They're half and half. The Red Sox have the easiest road, Chris, of teams to play. Other than the Yankees, the Red Sox could very, very well, I think, based on these schedules, should probably get one of the wild card spots. And the Yankees are going to have to battle out with Toronto, I think.
Home games too.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Home games for Boston.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I don't like, I just don't like what the Yankees are showing right now. Mark, maybe, you know what? Maybe it's better. I mean, maybe it's better. Maybe this is the call that cleans the house. They don't make the playoffs. Now they get into the wild card, and because I don't think they're going to beat either one of those. I mean, okay, the pitching matchup in one game.
One game, Chris.
You could see.
Listen, if it's Red Sox Yankees, guess what? It's going to be Sale and Cole. Flip a coin, Chris, because both those guys, if they're on,
right,
who knows what happens? It may go to the bullpens.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I mean, the Yankees may have a shot at that, but this is what happens, Mark. If they go and make the playoffs as a wild card team, right, and they go and win that game, yeah, that may save Boone's job, and we don't want to see that happen. I mean, it's not like, listen, is there anything in you that feels like the Yankees, if they get by that wild card, if they get in, there's a lot of ifs here, and they get by the wild card game, they're going to win a series?
No.
I don't think Mark can hear me.
I don't think so. No, they're
Mark,
not
I
going to
don't know
win.
if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can't see the Yankees winning a 7-game series, Chris, the way they're looking right now. But I do think
Okay.
they could win a wild card game. But I don't think a wild card game, Chris, saves Boone's job. The best scenario, they don't make the playoffs. And as a Yankee fan, it's kill. I can't believe I'm going to say this. You don't make the playoffs. Like you said, you clean house. You get rid of Boone, and maybe if you don't make the playoffs, Cashman goes too. I don't know, but Boone definitely goes. If you don't make the playoffs, Boone's gone, and you got to start to flip this lineup around a little bit and make some changes during the offseason, Chris. You don't have a choice, especially if the friggin' Red Sox after they were supposed to be putrid this year, and if the Red Sox make the wild card and you don't make the playoffs, that's bad. That's real bad.
Yeah, that is not acceptable in Yankee land. You know what I'm saying? So again, we'll see what happens. And from the Red Sox standpoint, Mark, I mean, we're talking a little bit about that, but they're 500 ball, right? They got the easiest schedule. They play 500 ball. They're in. And now Cora, did you hear what Cora said yesterday about the fans? He said, he wants the fans to be loud, real loud in the stadium, and when everybody's in town.
Why? We're trying to figure out a way to why they're loud. You can cheat, Cora. Please, really? Come on. Listen,
what is?
I don't know. Cora. Listen, it is what it is, right? But listen, Red Sox, even if they just make the wild card and get beat in the wild card game, Chris, in my opinion, it's been a successful season for the Red Sox if they make the wild card. In my opinion, I don't know what you think. I think it's a successful season for the Red Sox.
At the beginning of all this, nobody ever, the whole beginning, April, you go back, nobody expected that team to do anything. Then they got on that run, about 100 games. They were leading. They were, and so now the expectations, they didn't make the move. Then they went in the toilet. Now they're coming back a little. So no, I mean, if your thought is from the original, from the offseason coming into the season, yeah, a wild card, a playoff would be a success for them. It would. Yeah. But Mark, the fans, really? I mean, there's no, do they matter? Look, why? You want to see them sleeping because of a 4-hour game? We don't even get into that about these games that are 4 hours and just, take forever. But listen,
I will say this, Chris,
like I said,
Toronto is the most dangerous of the three if they get any pitching.
I know. I listen, that team, there's just something about that team. They're scrappy and they just win. They're just winning. Mark, I think it's going to be Toronto and Boston. I mean, that's what I'm going to think. And you know what? I'm going to pick Toronto in that game. Sale or not, I don't care.
You're going to pick Toronto over Sale?
Just because.
Yeah.
Yep, I am. Just because as soon as they get to the bullpen, and look, if they get to the bullpen and they win the game, keep it close for the first 5 innings, right? I don't know. I mean, you're the baseball guy.
Yeah.
What the hell do I
know?
No,
you're right.
You are
right.
Just along for the ride over
here.
here.
No, but I just have a funny feeling.
Joe knows.
I just have a funny feeling Sale will come out and throw like 90, 100. He'll be on his game that day and get them as deep as he can go. But and I wouldn't put it past the Red Sox, Chris, because this is what he does. Cora, he won't go to that bullpen. He gives him 6. He'll bring Eovaldi out of the goddamn bullpen. He won't go to the bullpen. He'll bring Eovaldi out and tell Eovaldi like he did in that World Series against the Dodgers. He'll bring Eovaldi out of the bullpen and say, go, give me 7, 8, 9, and we'll win this damn thing. He ain't going to go to the bullpen, Chris. If Sale gives him 6 and they're going to lead, you mock my words, you'll have Eovaldi warming up in the bullpen, and he'll worry about the next series after. But Eovaldi will come out of that bullpen. You mock my words.
Especially if they're banging garbage cans down the
well, I can leave the garbage cans alone, Chris. Come on.
Down the tunnel, right? Nah, that's it. Yeah. They cheat. Everybody, they're all cheaters. They're all cheaters. Once a cheater, always a cheater, right? So, anyway,
come on, Chris. But yeah, listen, that's what I believe.
Yeah, I think, like I said, my pick is Toronto. I just think they're hot. They're that New York Giants feel where they're coming in just kind of hot. So we'll see what happens. But Yankees versus Red Sox was brought to you by Special Sauce Podcast, Startup Finance, and Drive Yourself to Success. When we come back, you don't want to move. Don't move, because we have Catone's, not Corso's comments, Mark. It's Catone's comments right after this.
Joe's horn in on it.
You know,
This guy.
come on. I pay, Chris, listen, I pay a lot of money, and I know you do too. I pay a lot of money for TV, right? To watch TV, watch different programs, especially for sports. I'm watching, I'm paying for a lot of money for all this through my provider. And, lately, I need 15 things to watch something. If I want to watch something, I got to have 15 different things. Last week, I'm trying to watch the Notre Dame game. I can't watch it. I got to stream Peacock. I don't know what the hell I'm watching. Some kind of Peacock shit. I don't know. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I can't watch the game, right? Then I turned on Showtime this week. I'm going to watch Inside the NFL. I can't watch it. I need Paramount Plus. What the hell is Paramount Plus? I don't even know what the hell that is. Paramount Plus. What the hell is it? Paramount Plus. What is it? I don't know what it is. Then there's something else I want to watch. It's on Pluto. I thought Pluto was a Disney character. I need Pluto TV. What the hell is Pluto TV? Are you kidding me? And then they got things streaming on Hulu, Halo. I don't know what the hell that is. You need 20 things to watch sports, movies. Well, what the hell am I paying my provider for? They're taking everything off, for Christ's sakes. Are you kidding me? It's absolute insanity that if I want to watch a game, I gotta, is it on, what's this, ESPN Plus? Now you gotta watch things on ESPN Plus. Really? You can't watch anything. I got 5 ESPNs. I can't watch any. I need ESPN Plus now to watch something. This is absolute insanity that you got to do all of this, and you got to spend more money because it's not like they're charging you $4.99, $5.99. They're charging you $18, $10, $12, $11, $13, $14 a month for all this stuff, and they think it's okay. It's not a big deal. Screw the consumer. Screw the consumer again, because they don't care. What do they care? It's just to make more money. And then these streaming services, Chris, with COVID, you think that they would feel bad for the consumer. They just kept sticking it to us, and all these things came out of the woodwork during COVID. They figured people were home. Everything you're going to pay extra for now to watch. I've never seen anything like it. It's absolutely crazy when I can't even watch a game on NBC, a Notre Dame game. I gotta get Peacock to watch a goddamn game. The Olympics. We had talked about the Olympics a few weeks ago, Chris. I couldn't even watch a semifinal game. The United States basketball team. I had to have a Peacock. What? This is insanity. Absolute insanity. And I don't know when it's going to end. Every time you turn around, there's a new channel they're coming out with, and they're putting stuff on it that you have to watch. I've never seen anything like this. It's absolutely crazy. And nobody cares. They just keep making you spend money. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Now the NFL, they're talking about when the contract with DirecTV is over, they're going to spread it out and try to give all these streaming services It ain't gonna be no more Sunday Ticket. It's gonna be. I don't know what they're gonna do because it's craziness. Can you tell I've had enough of the streaming services? Absolutely crazy.
Well, Joe.
Look, you
Joe,
must
I
have
think
something back there. Hulu, Halo. You got all those TVs?
Well, listen, I can tell you this: if they
One
get rid of
TV
Sunday
for each internet.
Ticket, and I can't,
Yeah.
if they get rid of Sunday Ticket, and I can't, I can't. I'll rip all these TVs right off the wall. I mean, I got to watch New England. No.
Well, Chris,
How are we going to do the post game show, Mark? How are we
Chris.
going to do the Pats Nation if I can't see the damn game?
Chris, you'll be able to watch it. You're gonna have like 4 different services because they're gonna spread it out. You'll be paying God knows what to watch the Patriots because the NFL wants to make money and what? Stick it to the consumer. Stick it to the consumer.
He's right.
Listen, Joe, I think Mark would rather go back. Well, but I think he'd rather go back to what about 1980 when you had, let me see if I can remember him right, where you had channel 12, 38, and channel 56, right? Remember?
56.
That was it.
Wow.
And you had to put the remember that channel? When I was 10 years old, we used to watch cartoons on that channel, Mark. You'd have to have the antenna and everything.
Channel 38 used to have the Bruins.
That's right. And with Cusack and Edelman and Cusack, right? And so Eddie Edelman, I don't know. He loved the horses. So you'd have to have the antennas, remember? And you go over to it, and when you touched it, see, my kids don't understand, okay, what we had to deal with growing up. Look, in other words, they look at something on TV, and if 30 seconds go by and it isn't playing right, oh, what the hell's the matter with this thing? I don't understand. We used to watch things that were like in the snow. We'd watch stuff like that, like whole episodes like that. Or I'd make my sister go and hold the antenna. Stand there and hold the antenna while I watch the show so that everything would be good. Mark wants to go. I think he wants to go back to those days. Yeah, Mark? What do you think, Joe?
I don't blame him.
There was nothing wrong with those days. I used to watch there was nothing on, Chris, on Saturdays. I used to watch Kung Fu Theater. Remember? With the subtitles. The guy would say, "Go home," and he'd just go. His mouth never matched what was being said on TV. It was unbelievable. It was the best. The best.
Yeah, and then remember when cable came out? Dimension Cable?
Remember Dimension Cable. Yep.
Yeah. Listen, he's not Mark. He's got Joe. He's got a point. He's got a point. You have to get all these things now. Like, you want to see that show, Peyton's Place? Great show on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, you got to pay
now
extra.
They got bundles. Now you have bundles. You can bundle this one with this one and this one, but they always leave one out that like you would want.
The one you
like
need.
Amazon Prime. There's another one. Yeah, Amazon Prime. That's another one. Then you got the Disney Channel.
Don't get me started on Amazon Prime. I got that. I got Amazon Prime because my wife, that's all she does is order on Amazon. Of course I got Prime. I ain't worried about that. It comes with the goddamn Amazon Prime Video. Comes with the service for paying.
So, oh yeah, two-day delivery, Mark. Listen, so not only are you dealing with home goods over there, you're dealing with the Amazon Prime 2-day delivery. So I guess you can open up a shop there.
You think it's funny? Yeah. Thinks it's funny,
Hey,
Joe.
Listen. Well, we'll go back 40 years and we'll watch it all on the snow for Mark, just for Mark. But if they take the NFL Sunday Ticket away, we're going to have a real problem. We're going to have a real problem.
I read that when the contract is up in like a year or maybe 2, and they're going to spread it out among different things.
In fact, we should tell the fans. We should tell the fans out there that you're streaming from the 1980s over there, Chris. The feed is just looking like it's.
What's the matter? Am I frozen? Is that why all this is happening? Where Mark's is that why this is happening? Where Mark is completely delayed from me? I guess that's what's happening. Listen,
comment brought to you by 1985.
Chris, he's got a delay. He's got earphones that don't fit in his ears. What the hell is wrong with him today?
Hold on. Hang on a second. Who's the producer and director of this show?
Hey, man. You're in Arizona. We can't. It's like there comes a point I can't do anything about that feed except for tell the people.
Get on a plane. Get on
1985.
Get on a plane. Get your ass out here and fix my stuff, Joe. Okay.
Right.
Well, Catone's comments, for those of you who can still hear me, Catone's comments were brought to you by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and let's not get this little promo delayed. We'll make sure this gets in. Go CorsoLawGroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. Coming up, we have Pat's preview of the Jets game tomorrow, right after this.
It's that time again for a timeout for a message from one of our sponsors. No one ever thinks they will be in the need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people all across this great country who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. So whether it's a traffic ticket or if you need reduced DUI or more serious issues, call or go online to CorsoLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys who I know will help you. Corso Law Group.
Back in with more Corso and Catone and into our Patriots preview now. We go of the Jets game when New England travels to New York to face the New York Jets at 1 p.m. Eastern. We will, of course, be on 30 minutes following with Pat's Nation, the only Patriots post-game show worth watching. At least Joe tells me that, Mark. Tells me it's the only Patriots post-game show that's worth watching.
Of course, it's the only show worth watching. What do you think?
I believe that.
Of course it is.
I believe that 30 minutes following every Patriots game. So, Mark, let's get right into and I want to go through the injury list too, but we could do it as it relates to offense and defense. This way you don't get, especially with the feed being what it is, and you can hear me and not hear me and all this other stuff. So let's get right into the offense and look and I'll ask you like I asked you last week. For them, for the Patriots to win this game, what do they have to do on offense?
This week, Chris, I'm gonna change my.
What are you looking at?
I'm pulling up the stat from last week. I want to talk about Jones. That's why.
He's cheating. He's cheating. You're supposed to know all this. Go ahead, Mark.
Listen, at my age, my mind's half scrambled eggs. You want me to remember everything? Listen. So, in order for them to win this week. In order for them to win this week, Chris, I'm going to tell you something. Last week we said they needed to run the ball. This week they need to open up the damn offense and just take the goddamn training wheels off this kid and let him play. Last week, Chris, he was like 12 for like 18 under blitz and pressure. The kid can throw the goddamn ball and the kid can make the right read and he can react quickly. Take the training wheels off him, open the goddamn offense up, and you'll win this game this week without question. You'll win by double digits. You win by 2 touchdowns or more. But the training wheels got to come off. That's it. This kid don't need training wheels, Chris. This kid can play.
Mark, he got hit 9 times, though.
Maybe I understand more. That, but that's okay. That'll be bad. That's okay.
Should get him
Chris,
tougher.
Listen, you don't think Flores threw the kitchen sink at this kid? He did.
Of course he did. They had packages coming at him all day. But, Mark, I mean, first of all, he's a rookie, right? So you're asking him to now play what? 6 more games than he's used to playing? Yeah. So not only that, and the toll on the body, okay, maybe less because for the bowl game, but the toll on the body is happening. Now you can't get this guy hit 9 times in a game. You just can't do it. So yeah, I want to open it up too, but we do listen, other than they put the ball on the ground last week, both of them, although you and I don't think that
Stevenson
play was a fumble.
Was not a fumble. No, it wasn't. It was not.
But what Harris did was inexcusable. I mean, you can't put the ball on the ground on the 8-yard line when you're ready to go in. And Mark, the reason why that was completely inexcusable was because I had them winning that game 24-17. And
there we go.
Big N in there got the 2-point conversion. My prediction comes true. Mox is completely out there. You had him 30 points. But listen,
If they take the training
they
wheels
put a lot of
off, they
pressure,
would
but I
have had
think
30 points. Take the training wheels off.
that's the argument that's been made all week long about McDaniels in the first half, and we made that argument in the post-game show last week, where we talked about he was one of the stiffs of the game, right? The Sunday stiff, because which is a great segment on the Pats Nation Real Patriots post-game show. So he was one of the Sunday stiffs, McDaniels, right? Because he didn't open that up for him. And when he did in the second half a little more, then Aguilar came to life and so on. So, yeah, I agree. And I think they will. I think they will open it up with him a little. But, Mark, a key matchup in this game is going to be David Andrews against that Quinn Williams over there on the other side of the ball. I mean, that's protecting him, because this guy Williams could wreak havoc both in the passing game and the running game. And I think it's going to be tough on the offensive line.
What about Trent Brown, though, Chris? What about Trent Brown, though? I think that's going to be key too, Chris, because who's playing the third stringer? Or is Brown going to be back? Is the backup going to be back?
Well, he was at practice yesterday, so he's at practice Friday. Now, typically, if you're at Friday practice, if you're out of Friday practice, then a lot of times you may be good to go on game day. Now, they'll bring him out on the field tomorrow morning, and they'll test him out. They'll run him a little. And if you see him in street clothes, not street clothes, but if you see him in workout clothes real early, that's usually a bad sign. That's typically a bad sign. They need him, because what went on at right tackle when he left the game, man, I don't want to see that happen again. Haran, and then the other guy that came in.
And Chris, you talk about 9 hits.
That was a nightmare.
You talk about 9 hits. A lot of those hits came from that side of the field after those guys they had those guys go off the field. So
yeah, again, it's that's again. And David Andrews was one of the guys that had that comment about. We got to do a little better job protecting him at times. This is what he said after the game. He got hit a little too much. Oh, okay. 9 times is a little too much. I agree. And, I don't know how many sacks they have. What, 2 or 3 sacks? I know the one where he threw the ball behind him. So,
and Chris Jones,
I'm not sure if they had any more.
Jones took responsibility for some of it too, and said, "Listen, I got to do a better job of getting the ball out, right, and making reads and getting rid of the ball rather than getting hit, right." So he took responsibility for some of it too, because some of it wasn't on him. He probably did, he probably should have made a quicker decision or did something different rather than getting hit, and he acknowledged that. So here's a kid, Chris, who's a rookie. He's acknowledging it. He's moving on. I'm interested to see, Chris, because this is something you brought up in the preseason. You brought up, okay, let's see how this kid can read film. Let's see how he adjusts after he has the opportunity to look at film and see what he did. Yeah. See what the Jets did last week on defense, right? And what kind of looks were the Jets using last week? And see what he does now that he's had a week to study film of himself, his team, and the team he's playing, and see what he comes out with on Sunday.
Well, I mean, if his not preseason, but training camp was any indication of what he'll do during the season. Look, when he made mistakes, he didn't make them again. A lot of times you make a mistake and it just didn't happen again. So that's what you're looking at rookie. But if he's getting hit, and I will say this, the last thing I'll say about the offensive line too, because I think they're critical in this kind of a game. They got a lot of edge pressure last week versus Miami. That's how coming to them. This is different. This is going to be middle pressure, because he was in the backfield hitting the quarterback twice. Last year he had, he recorded 7 sacks in 13 games, when he played. So, I mean, again, it's going to be a problem up the middle if those 2 tackles, those 2 guards and Andrews can't stop it. But if they can, I would look for Mac Jones to have a big game, but they are going to have to run the ball. And one of the reasons I think they're going to have to run the ball is because, and this is something you talked about, in preseason or when they paid the money to get this guy, is Jonnu Smith. Okay. He's on the injury report with a hip injury. Okay. Now I don't know if he practiced yesterday. I don't think he did. So usually if you don't practice on Friday, you don't play on Sunday. So missing that guy guy, does that change things for you in the past as far as how they're going to, if they're going to go spread, pass the ball, things like that?
Well, I'll be honest
Does
with you,
that change
Chris,
your opinion if he doesn't play?
I'm going to tell you, Chris, who looked good in preseason blocking. Asi, believe it or not, Chris impressed me in the preseason blocking. He looked really good because Smith and Henry didn't play much in preseason. And Asi, I think you could put him out there, Chris, and he'll be the blocking tight end. And I think he'll be okay. He looked good blocking in the preseason. So I don't think that'll affect your running game if Asi's out there. I mean, already, he's not as good as Smith, but I think he's functionable enough that you can run the ball with him at tight end and Henry. I mean, depending on what looks you're going to use. But I'm going to tell you something, Chris. You bring up the tight ends. You got to get them involved more. I mean, we talked about this in the post game last week. They didn't. You spent all this money on tight ends. You got to get them involved in the game more.
Yeah, would they have a combined 7 catches, something like that?
7 catches, 8 catches.
In last week's game, I think it was a total of 7, something like that, and it wasn't for many yards either. So, and a lot of that came in the second half. So, if Smith doesn't play, Mark, to me, it's always going to come back to the running game with them, And I get it, and I really hope that they put the ball on the ground. But I really hope that Belichick doesn't put him in the doghouse. What he likes to do. And bring Bolden out or James White, who we talked about last week. He looks
Chris,
slow.
I'm
not
glad
the
you
same
brought up
guy.
White. I'm glad you brought up White. Is Taylor? I hope Taylor's not inactive again.
Yeah, because I don't see the other guy in the injury. Yeah, I don't see him on the injury report as of yesterday. I don't see him on there.
Taylor.
So they have 2. Taylor, JJ Taylor. I don't see him on the injury report. So,
if that's
he
the
must
case,
be back
then
at
Chris,
practice
then
playing.
he better be active. He better be active.
He's that guy. He's that field. Get those check downs. He better be active and used. I don't want to see Bolden on the field ever. So you know what? Forgive Stevenson a little of him. He's got to get the ball. That's it. I mean, look at what happened. And a lot of that had to do with the right tackle position, because look at what happened in the first drive of the game where Harris just was tearing off runs. And a lot of it was on the right side. So we keep talking about the right tackle and Trent Brown. So hopefully he can play. And the running game needs to, they need to step up too and give Mac Jones the ability to play action pass, right, Mark? Because
Chris, what about they need to play action pass. And what about the receivers? I mean, it looked like Aguilar, the second half of that game last week, got himself involved a little bit, and maybe he shows some sign of life. Maybe tomorrow's the day you run the ball, you do some play action. Maybe tomorrow's the day you try to spread the field a little bit and go downfield, right? Jones can make the throw. I mean, tomorrow might be that day. Let's see if they can go down the field a little bit. Forget the 5 and 10 yard dinks and dunks. Let's go. Let's try to get this rolling a little bit and see what happens.
Well, I mean, he'll take what the defense gives him. But if you notice from first half to second half, there was 3-step drops, and then it turned to 5-step and 7-step, and that allowed Aguilar to get open. So hopefully we'll see that, because I don't know our defense that I know we want to go over. Because
Chris, that was going to be my next thing. Don't forget they got the rookie on the other side of the ball too.
Yeah, I know they do. And you know what is, because Jonathan Jones, it's going to be Jonathan Jones versus Elijah Moore. Okay. This is going to be the matchup. This is going to be the issue, because Jones struggled badly last week against Waddle. I mean, the whole secondary, I think, did. Because if you look at that game last week, it's deceiving, isn't it? I mean, it was key. There were key times where they couldn't get the stop that they needed, including with 3 minutes left in the game. And those of you out there, Mark's having a little issue hearing me. It's a little bit delayed, so bear with us. We're gonna blame Joe for this, though. Joe, it's your fault. That's it.
That's
It's gonna
always,
be what else?
So,
He's the
again.
producer. We gotta blame him.
of course.
Right. So what I'll
All
do, of course, yeah, naturally, can't be my fault. It's never my fault. So,
No.
Mark, that's a big matchup. I mean, when you look in the secondary, you look in the secondary for New England, they got to play better. Now, I don't think the Jets have to you.
The Jets.
If you can even hear me anymore.
The Jets, Chris, listen, the Jets don't have other than Elijah Moore, their receiving group, I don't think is that good, and I don't know if they got that great of a running game. So I think we should be able to stop the run. But in regards to the passing game, you're right. The secondary didn't look good at all last week. So, and it was deceiving because whenever Miami needed to go down the field, they did. The end of the game, they needed to run the clock out. We couldn't stop them, right? So both halves they came out, they moved the ball all the way down the field. We couldn't stop anything. So you're right. The performance was a little deceiving on our part when you just look at the final score. But the defense, the secondary didn't play well, Chris. And listen, if you're gonna have to really open up, I think, the blitz game tomorrow. You're gonna have to get this kid off his spot. You're going to have to show him some different looks. You're going to have to pressure him. I don't think it's rocket science. The kid's a rookie. And you know what Belichick does with rookies.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. And listen, the one good thing I'll say about the defense last week, I mean, they were, the Dolphins were 4 of 11 on third downs. Okay, which that needed to, but down that's pretty good. But with this situation, as far as to wrap up the secondary, is the Jets will take plenty of shots down the field. But I bring up Jonathan Jones because if they can't control the underneath, if they can't control the 5-yard, 10-yard passes underneath, then they're going to have a lot of trouble with getting shots down the field. Because now they're going to have to bring guys down. They're going to have to run 4 across, do some different things, maybe run cover 2. And we've already talked about the fact that McCourty has trouble getting over the top right now. At least he did last week. So that's going to have to improve with the second.
Chris,
about Belichick.
And I don't know, Chris, if the Jets really have any tight ends that are good receivers. So I think I think we'll be able to take care of the tight end. Usually we struggle with tight ends, but I don't think we'll have a problem with the tight ends this week. I think our biggest problem, you're right, Chris, is going to be with the receiving group, that underneath stuff with receivers. I looked at the roster. I don't remember a tight end, and I don't think they played well last week. I don't think they have much in the tight end group for the Jets, and their running game is okay. I really think you're right, Chris, that they're going to roll this kid out of the pocket a lot. They're going to do a lot of underneath stuff, and every so often they may send the kid Mims down the field. They may take a shot deep and test McCourty and your corners and to see if McCourty's there at the back end. Because last week, you're right, Chris, McCourty did not play well.
Well, with those two guys that you're mentioning, Mims and Moore, that I mentioned more, it's very possible if New England gets into cover 2, and what I mean by cover 2 is 2 safeties sitting on 2 hash marks, with coverage. 2 buster is where you got the two wide receivers basically putting routes down the field, go routes, call it whatever you want. Okay, and they're running one inside and one outside, and now you have a safety sitting back there having to decide, who am I covering this guy? Am I taking this guy? And the quarterback is just reading the safety, and he goes the other way. So if you have to go to that defense, they'll have busters that down in the front 7. I think if Kyle Van Noy is out, he's been ruled out for this game, and that's a big
Vanoy?
hit, isn't it?
What the hell happened to Kyle Van Noy? I don't know what happened to Van Noy,
Chris. Mark can even hear me at all right now.
Well, I couldn't I really can't. You're really in and out, Chris. But listen, I didn't realize Van Noy was out. I mean, I don't think
Mark,
I didn't realize Van Noy was out. I mean, that's I didn't notice that, but he played all week, the whole game, last game. So I don't understand why he's out. But here we go again with the injuries, Chris. This happens every year with them. Guys go out 2-3 games here and there. Now all of a sudden he's out. But I think you have depth at linebacker this year with Uche and Winovich. I think you have enough there that you can, and Hightower and obviously
Uche.
You got. I think you got enough to compensate for him, but I think the Patriots are going to have to figure out a way to pressure this kid. He's a rookie quarterback. Let's bring pressure and let's I think you have to. You don't have a choice. You got to try to get this kid off his mark, and you got to do what Miami did last week to Mac Jones is what you're going to do to this kid from the Jets this week, because I think you have the guys up front to do it, Chris, to get pressure on this kid.
Yeah, and I think that they'll move pre-snap. This is one of those games. And look, Belichick is 21-6 versus rookie quarterbacks. Okay, so you have a rookie quarterback. Chances are Belichick is going to find a way to beat him, find a way to confuse him, things like that.
Yeah.
And I would expect to see a lot of pre-snap movement from them. Linebackers moving around, guys getting in gaps, a little bit of zero look with man coverage. This will confuse Wilson a little bit. And then if you can get some edge pressure on him, okay, I'm not sure how much he'll step up in the pocket and take off. So I don't think a spy is necessary until they realize, he can do that. Rookies, right, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna do exactly what you said with the zero looks and confuse him and bring things at him and see what he can handle and what he can't handle. I don't think the kid is, he's coming from a simple where he played in college, Chris. The competition was not that good, so he didn't see a lot of different looks defensively in college. Unlike Jones playing in Alabama, you were playing against pro style teams every Saturday. Wilson didn't see that in college, so now I think you can confuse this kid this early in his career. I absolutely think you can. You remember the old Sam Darnold comment, I'm seeing ghosts, right? Remember when we played the Jets?
Yeah. But and I think that's going to hold true. Look, he completed 54% of his passes last week against Carolina, 14 times. I think you should see a lot more pressure coming after Wilson again. Wasn't a great percentage for him last week. So we'll see how that goes on the defense. But yeah, I want to see more of Uche, Mark. I want to see a lot more of Uche,
Yeah. No, I do. I think, and without Van Noy, Chris, on the field, I think you're going to see more of Winovich too, probably. I think he'll get some play to see what he can give you without Van Noy on the field. We'll see.
With him, it's difficult the angle to the quarterback, and if he doesn't get there, it would be pretty pointless. So I want to see what Uche can do, Mark. I really, really do, because I expect that guy to be a good player. And then Judon, I told what I think of Judon. I mean, I think he's going to be a force all season long, and he's going to be in the backfield. He's going to be all over the field. So, and they're going to need him tomorrow. They will, because the Patriots, they have got to bounce back tomorrow.
Chris, this might be a game where you just unleash Uche and Judon. Just unleash them and bring them and move them all over the place and bring them and bring everything against this kid and see what he's got,
Again, that's what I think. I think zero look. I would do it with this kid because he's going to get confused. Now, maybe Belichick doesn't think that they need to do that. Maybe he doesn't think that they need to do that. So we'll see what happens, Mark. I think the defense will need to play well. We know what that sound is. That sound is the 2-minute warning, and that's presented by the Pats Nation, the Real Patriots postgame show. Mark, let's wrap it up.
Chris, I'll tell you what. Last week I was a little off with my prediction, but I'm going to try it again. Patriots 27, New York Jets 17. Double digits, 27-17. But it would not surprise me if the Patriots go over 30 points this week. It would not surprise me. And the other thing I am going to
do that.
But wait a minute.
Do that.
But I picked the score.
Oh, now you hear me. Now you hear me good, right?
I said 27. Today, this is the first time now you're clear, Chris.
At the end of the show.
At the end of the show. What happened? What'd you do different that now you're clear?
I sat here. I sat here talking.
It took the entire show. Now he's clear.
I have good vibes from the people.
Now for the fixing of it.
I have good vibes from the people.
Not only do I said 27-17, but it wouldn't surprise me if they go over 30. And I'm also going to say this, Chris. It's week 2. This is a must-win game for the Patriots. Must win.
Absolutely.
Week 2, I'm telling you today, it's must win. The last 20 teams that have started out 0-2 have not made the playoffs. Last 20 teams who have started out 0-2, Chris, have not made the playoffs. Tomorrow's must win for the Patriots.
I agree. And we'll be keeping a close eye on that Buffalo game too against Miami, because I think we need to root for Miami, because I think we'll catch them. I'll give you my prediction in a second, but I think we can catch Miami if it's 1-1 at this point, even if Miami's 2-0, so you want to see Buffalo lose as many games as possible. God, Mark, the last time we were in this mode was like 98. When we were watching other games and hoping for losses and all this other thing. Usually we're leading the charge, but that's the way the Patriots are today now. But I agree, they're going to have to win this game. I think they're going to score over 30 points. So because I think they're going to allow, like you said, I think they're going to allow Mac Jones. They're going to open it up. I think they're going to try to get the ball down the field, and then from there, I think they can try to screen game and things like that, just depending on the pressure. So I believe my prediction is going to be 35-16. That's my final for tomorrow. And that's giving them a lot. And that's really putting a lot of confidence in the offense. But I think McDaniels took enough of a beating last week where I think he'll want to open it up. And I don't know if that was McDaniels or Belichick that did that. So let's see what happens, Mark. 2-minute warning was presented by the Pats Nation, the Real Patriots postgame show. Join Mark and I 30 minutes following every Patriots game, including the Jets game tomorrow, where the New England Patriots travel to the New York Jets at what? Mark, is that still can I still call that the Meadowlands? I'll always call it the Meadowlands. I know it's
it's not anymore, but it's the Meadowlands.
It's MetLife Stadium, but I'm going to call it. We're going to call it the Meadowlands with the racetrack right next door to it. Remember that, Mark?
Yeah, you like it. Yeah,
we've spent a lot of time in that place too. So, listen, Mark, some people to thank tonight. I want to thank good people over at Special Sauce Podcast, Startup Finance, and Drive Yourself to Success. SpecialSaucePodcast.com. Also want to thank Jag Media. I can't thank Jag Media Productions today because my whole screen was frozen.
Well, you better get that. You better have that fixed for tomorrow. Jesus,
that's right. Tomorrow of all days. So Studio 42 Designs, if everything for your graphic design needs, studio42designs.com. Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm, corsolawgroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. And Mountain View Home Watch and Security, Scottsdale's leading watch and security firm. And even though everything was glitching up today, we always want to thank the producer, director of this show, Joe Guarnieri. Listen, join us tomorrow, 30 minutes following, as I said, and I keep saying it, join us tomorrow, 30 minutes following the Patriots game for the Pats Nation. the only Patriots post-game show worth watching. We're going to have a lot to do on that. We're going to have Mac Mania we'll talk about. We're going to have our Sunday Stiff, which you never want to miss. And, of course, the Brady Belichick segment. And Brady is playing at the right time of day, so we can really get into that. Both are playing at the same time. And, listen, make sure you join us next Saturday for Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. And, we'll take a look and see if Mark was right. So make sure you tune in this week to the show to make sure you check Mark and see if his predictions and all the things he's talking about are right. So for Mark Catone, Joe Guarnieri, I'm Chris Corso. So long, everyone.
Okay.